Good afternoon and welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Rita Enum, coming to you live from Rio. Let's take a look at the headlines. The federal government dismisses 15 correctional personnel, demotes 59 over misconduct. Airstrikes kill over 30 terrorists gathered for a wedding in Zamfara. Plus, French President Macron urges tougher line in standoff with Algeria. Stay tuned for details and more in a moment. We begin the news today from the national scene where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered the immediate implementation of overdue pension increases and the rollout of free healthcare access for low-income retirees under the contributory pension scheme. The directive, which forms the start and part of the administration's broader social
According to a statement signed by the Special Advisor, according to a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onaga, the President emphasized that retirees, particularly those with limited means, deserve dignity, support and access to basic services after years of service to the nation. The President expressed strong support for the Commission's reforms, reaffirming his administration's commitment to inclusive economic growth and improved welfare for all Nigerians, especially the elderly and vulnerable. And in the meantime, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has extended heartfelt condolences to the President of Ghana, John Mahama, and the people of Ghana following a tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 2 senior cabinet ministers and 6 others. According to reports, the accident resulted in the death of Ghana's Defense Minister Edward Omane Boama and the Environment Minister Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, who were reportedly on official duty, amongst others. In a condolence message issued by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onaga, President Tinubu noted that the government and the people of Nigeria stand in solidarity with Ghana during this moment of grief. The Nigerian leader described the tragedy as a profound national loss and urged the bereaved families and the Ghanaian nation to take solace in the fact that the deceased died in the line of patriotic service. He offered prayers for the peaceful repose of the souls of the faithful departed and comfort to the families they left behind. Away from that, the federal government has launched the 2005 revised National Employment Policy, NEP, to lift Nigerians out of poverty. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Dingyadi, who launched the policy, explained that the revised policy offered a bold, inclusive and future-fit solution to the nation's employment challenges. He further noted that the policy would provide a labour market that delivers inclusive growth, equity, productivity and sustainability for every Nigerian, stating that the review was necessitated by the Nigerians' employment landscape, which has been challenged by the high youth employment, underemployment, informality, gender disparities and regional inequalities. The minister further noted that, in line with President Tinubu's vision, the NEP considers employment not only as an economic goal, but also a means for social justice, national security, and sustainable development. And in the meantime, the federal government requires 3 million naira to complete road projects awarded under the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited NNPCL's tax credit scheme. This was disclosed by Works Minister Dave Umahi in Abuja while briefing newsmen. He said that following the NNPCL's decision to halt funding from August 1st, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu directed ministries to explore alternative sources of financing to ensure no project is abandoned. He also noted that the ministry has compiled a list of all affected projects and will present them to the President for consideration under the public-private partnership where applicable, especially for contractors with capacity and funding. Umahi also said that work has begun on the Benin-Warri and Benin-Asaba roads to First Niger Bridge. The Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta road and the Bayelsa and Delta axis have also been included. In a recent development, the federal government has dismissed 15 personnel of the Nigerian Correctional Facility, NCOS, and demoted 59 others for various acts of misconduct and indiscipline. This was disclosed by the Civil Defense Correctional Fire and Immigration Services Board under the Ministry of Interior, which reviewed 224 disciplinary cases involving correctional officers across the country, according to a statement issued by the Public Relations Officer of the NCOS, Umar Abubakar. The decisions followed recommendations from the board's Disciplinary and General Purpose Committee. after thorough investigation and adherence to due process. The move, authorities said, underscores the government's commitment to enforcing discipline and accountability within the correctional system. In a separate development, the National Identity Management Commission has introduced new restrictions on access to its self-service modification portal, limiting user access to the specific browser and device originally used during the account registration. This was contained in a press statement issued today by the head of the Commission's Corporate Committee on the integrity of the National Identification Number System and ensuring secure access to the portal. The Commission also noted that clearing a browser's cache would reset the browser identity, potentially locking the user out of the account. It further warned that users attempting to log in with a different browser or device may encounter access issues. On security matters, the air component of the Joint Task Force Operation Fasanyama today confirmed that its fighter aircraft recorded another operational success on 7th August 2025 with the neutralization of over 30 terrorists in Zamfara State. OPE, in a statement by Captain David Adewusi, Media Information Officer, said the precision strikes were targeted on terrorists who had converged at the foot of Asola Hills in Yankuzo ward of Safi local government area, Zamfara State, for a wedding ceremony. The strike, which was conducted based on credible intelligence, targeted a large assembly of terrorists from the Faskari and Kankara axis of Katsina State, as well as various parts of Zamfara State. The operation resulted in the neutralization of several terrorists, with many others sustaining critical injuries. Meanwhile, troops of 1 Brigade under Sector 2 OFI launched a follow-up operation in the early hours of 5th August 2025, successfully fighting through an ambush laid along the route. The village locals and other reliable sources from the area have confirmed that no fewer than 30 terrorists were neutralized during the air interdiction by the air component of OFI and the follow-up operations by ground troops. In a separate development, the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, Creditcorp, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, with the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, to enable serving corps members access up to 200,000 naira each. According to the MOU, eligible corps members will access up to 200,000 single-digit interest loan under the Youth Cred Initiative. Speaking at the signing of the MOU in Abuja, the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Creditcorp, Uzoma Nwagba, said 9 billion naira has been earmarked for the first phase of the program. Nwagba said the program was in fulfillment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Democracy Day address on June 12th, when he promised a credit initiative targeting 400,000 Nigerians, including youth corps members. It will begin, he also said, that the first phase of the Youth Cred focuses on NYSC members who would be required to complete a short digital credit education program before becoming eligible for the credit facility.
We really don't need to get landed property or whatnot to use as collateral for loans from banking. Yeah, this is a very clean record and you just see yourself benefiting. So these are some of the benefits I believe that if this system is perfected and we start implementing it, we are going to equally enjoy as Nigerian fraud protection, convenience of use, reward discounts. Yes, so it is something we're excited about. We are really excited to see how it unfolds and how we'll be able to proceed from here.
Credit orientation, that is teaching young Nigerians, especially as they're coming into the workforce, teaching them good credit habits, teaching them how to build a credit history, teaching them how to plan financially and borrow responsibly, and then ultimately also giving them credits that enables them to When I say credit, I mean loans, consumer credit, that enables them to access goods and services in their core member as being core members. So relocation to their primary assignments, starting off micro enterprises based on what they learn in skills acquisition on camp, and even getting digital devices and furniture and mobility and things of that nature. Some even get apparel for starting off their first jobs. But the idea is less about what they do with the credits, but it's more about the credit culture and building a habit of understanding and utilization of credit. In most climes that we admire, credit is something that is a part of the culture and a part of life. And building a credit history is something that allows you to advance the quality of your life over time. Nigeria should not be different. And so today we are making history by starting this.
Education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, Jamb, has rolled out stringent procedures for screening of exception to Nigerian universities in the 2025/2026 academic session. Jamb Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede, who rolled out the measures during a virtual meeting with Vice Chancellors and Head of Admissions in Abuja, stated that the board would no longer tolerate the academic abuse of pushing psychologically and emotionally unprepared children into the rigorous life of the university. While reaffirming 16 years as the minimum entry age for tertiary education, Ishak noted that underage candidates would only be considered on clearly proven grounds of exceptional academic brilliance, maintaining that to qualify for consideration, under 16 candidates must also meet 3 academic criteria, including a minimum UTME score of 320 points out of 30. The Jamb boss also outlawed the combination of results from 2 different exam bodies, such as mixing WAEC and NECO results for such category of candidates, adding that science students must include mathematics in their top subjects, while arts students must include English. The Jamb boss also announced that at least 4 universities have written to Jamb, stating categorically that they would not admit underage candidates under any circumstances. The said universities include the Air Force Institute of Technology, Kaduna, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, University of Jos, and the Osun State University. And still in education, the West African Examination Council, WAEC, has come under intense criticism following the sudden shutdown of its result checker portal on Wednesday evening due to technical issues. The development, announced via WAEC's official X handle at WAEC Nigeria, sparked widespread backlash as many Nigerians continue to express discontent over the poor performance recorded in the 2025 WAEC examinations, particularly in the English language. The portal crash notice intensified criticism of the exam body as many questioned WAEC's credibility. And now to Africa, where the presidency of Ghana has confirmed that Minister of Defense Edward Buama and Minister of Environment Ibrahim Mohammed have been killed in an helicopter crash, hours after armed forces reported that a chopper carrying 3 crew and 5 passengers dropped off the radar. According to reports, the helicopter was on its way to an event on illegal mining, a major environmental issue in the West African country where everyone on board was killed in the accident. Meanwhile, the president and government extends their condolences and sympathies to the families of the servicemen who died in service to their country. And still in Africa, President Emmanuel Macron urged a tougher line from Paris in intensifying standoff with former North African colony Algeria, saying France's stance needed to command respect. Tensions have grown in recent months to new levels between Paris and Algiers, with Macron's hope of historic post-colonial reconciliation that he espoused at the start of his presidency now appearing a distant dream. Algeria is holding in prison French-Algerian writer Boualem Sensal and also the prominent French football journalist Christophe Gelzes, while Paris has accused the pro-Algerian influencers of inciting hatred inside France. Macron said in a statement that France must be strong and command respect. Among the measures requested from the government, Macron called for the formal suspension of the 2013 agreement with Algiers concerning visa exemptions for official and diplomatic passports. And US President Donald Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin to meet in the coming days. And we see right here on the foreign scene that the Russian President and the US President have agreed to meet in the coming days. This follows Trump's response, saying there was a good chance he could meet the Russian and Ukrainian leaders together in person very soon to discuss ending the war in Ukraine. When asked at the White House briefing whether Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Putin had agreed a 3-day summit, Trump said there was a good prospect but did not elaborate. Meanwhile, a deadline Trump has set for Russia to agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine or face more sweeping sanctions is due to expire tomorrow. And still to come in the news. Super Falcons, Nadozie nominated for Ballon d'Or Best Goalkeeper Award. Stay tuned for details of this in a moment. Many thanks. On our business news, foreign investors sold off equities worth 576 billion naira on the Nigerian exchange between January and June 2025, representing an 84.97% increase from the 311 billion naira withdrawn in the same period of 2024. The outflows exceeded foreign inflows, which stood at 559 billion naira, resulting in a net negative foreign portfolio position of 16 billion naira over the last 6 months. The figures contained in the NGX's June 2025 domestic and foreign portfolio investment report show that foreign trading activity has intensified compared to the same period last year. Meanwhile, domestic investors accounted for 3 trillion naira worth of trades between January and June 2025, representing 72.92% of total market transactions. This marks a 41.5% increase from 2.17 trillion naira in the same period of 2024. Of the total domestic figure, institutional investors contributed 1.59 trillion naira, while retail investors traded 1.47 trillion naira. In health, the Kaduna State Primary Healthcare Board, SPHCB, has announced plans to inaugurate an Mpox vaccination campaign in selected local government areas affected by the outbreak. Health educator at the SPHCB, Isa Yushal, said this during a stakeholders engagement meeting on the introduction of the monkeypox vaccine in Kaduna. Yushal stated that the board was working proactively to prevent the spread of the disease and ensure that health and safety of Kaduna residents were top. He noted that several local government areas in the state have recorded a significant number of Mpox cases. In sports, Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie has been nominated for the prestigious 2025 Women's Yachin Trophy, the Ballon d'Or Award, recognizing the best female goalkeeper in the world. The 24-year-old recently signed with Brighton Women FC after an exceptional spell at Paris FC, where she played a decisive role in securing the club's first major title in nearly 20 years. Nnadozie was the hero of the 2025 Coupe de France feminine final, leading Paris FC to a dramatic 5-4 penalty shootout win over Paris Saint-Germain, following a goalless draw at Stade de l'Eport in Calicias. On our entertainment news, popular Nigerian comedian and filmmaker Ayo Makun, popularly known as AY, has shared a touching tribute of gratitude 2 years after a fire incident razed his Lekki mansion. In a video shared on his Instagram page, the entertainer posted a montage showing clips of the burnt property alongside views of the rebuilt home. AY, in the video's voiceover, said, and I quote, "2 years ago today, everything went up in flames. My home, my peace, my comfort zone, and that was the beginning. I have seen betrayal, lies, and storms that tried to silence everything I built." It will be recalled that the fire incident at AY's Lekki residence occurred 2 years ago, reducing the property and its contents to rubble. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Rita Inung. Do enjoy the rest of your day.